It's a Northwest Lifestyle Weekend on Como News. IRG's Health Talk continues.
All right, we're back with our first guest of the afternoon. Brian Harrington is the director of Camp Korey, their director of development. Camp Korey, Shannon, tell us about that.
Camp Korey is fantastic. It's it's a magical place for kids that have medical disabilities where they can go and just be a camper. What a great opportunity for families, campers, etc. This is a special place, Tom.
Looking forward to finding out more about that right now with Brian Harrington, the Camp Korey director of development, and Shannon O'Kelly.
Brian Harrington, welcome to Health Talk. How are you?
Great. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for joining us. We're going to talk about something that's near and dear to me, particularly as a physical therapist, but I know near and dear to you as the director of development. This is Camp Korey. And I got to tell you, Brian, maybe a couple months ago or so, had an opportunity to come up and join your group at a golf tournament in Mount Vernon. And I heard about Camp Korey, but when I was there, I was so impressed and I was so touched by what your focus is and your mission. And I wanted to have you on the radio because although this is health talk, I mean kids with disability, going to camp for parents, the children, people involved, caregivers, it is mental health. I mean, it's such an experience for these kids. Tell us about Camp Korey.
Exactly. So we were founded in 2006, and we operated our camp in Carnation for about 10 years. And then we purchased property and have been at our camp home, permanent home in Mount Vernon for the last 2 years. It'll be almost 3 years since we purchased the property, and we've had two summers of camp and our programming that kind of operates pretty much year-round up in Mount Vernon. Camp Korey is a camp for children living with life-altering medical conditions. We take kids that in every other aspect of their life, they're different. They have a medical challenge that might mean they have a breathing tube or a feeding tube, or they're a little person, they have skeletal dysplasia, they might have craniofacial disorders, they might have reconstructed pelvic medicine. We treat children with over 30 different medical conditions, and they get to come to our camp for a summer session, and they're fishing, archery, campfire, arts and crafts, all the amazing experiences that anyone who was benefited enough to go to camp as a kid knows and still remembers. And we give this in an environment where we also have a fully staffed medical facility that can meet any of their, routine or in some case challenge needs while they're at camp. So they're in a safe environment. And then my favorite part is we set it up so it's a primary diagnosis each week. So when they go to camp, they're surrounded with kids that are just like them.
Right.
They're dealing with the same challenge. And so when you look around and every other person in the room is a little person like you, or every other kid in the room has a feeding tube, or maybe they're in a wheelchair, guess what? That just makes you another kid. You're just one of the kids. And so you're allowed to be yourself.
No judgment.
No judgment. You're allowed to thrive. You're allowed to, one dad described it as we knew maybe 2 or 3 kids that had the same challenges his son had. And then he went to Camp Korey and he met 30 kids that had the challenge he had.
What an amazing experience.
You realize you're not alone.
Right, which is so important. I mean, because, just for the family members, parents, relatives, the kids, I mean, that is so important. I know this for a fact. I went to graduate school at Children's Hospital in Los Angeles in L.A., and at Children's, obviously, we saw a lot of kids that had medical problems, and you'd go over there, and I have a real passion for it, and I'm so excited, and congratulations for what you folks are doing. But more importantly, tell us the history, because there's a real cool history behind this whole genesis of Camp Korey.
Exactly. So Camp Korey is a member of the Serious Fun Camp Network, and the Serious Fun Camp Network was established with its first camp as the Hole in the Wall Gang Camp Network, and the Hole in the Wall Gang Camp in Connecticut just celebrated its 30th anniversary. And Hole in the Wall Gang Camp, of course, you think of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and the founder of all of this was Paul Newman. He's incredible, and he had the passion. He put it to say he wanted kids to be able to go, have fun, and raise a little hell. And that's what we do. And we take kids who that's usually not medically possible, and we give them that opportunity. Our founder, Tim Rose, who unfortunately lost his son, Corey, our namesake, Camp Korey, Corey Rose, he worked with Paul Newman as part of the Newman's Own Foundation through Costco. And he reached out to Mr. Newman saying, I want to do this to honor my son. The kids in Washington need a camp like this. And that was the genesis of how we got our start in 2006.
We'll continue our conversation about Camp Korey with Brian Harrington, the Camp Korey Director of Development, and Shannon O'Kelly after this on KOMO.
It's a Northwest Lifestyle Weekend on KOMO News. Now back to IRG's Health Talk.
We continue our discussion about Camp Korey with Brian Harrington and Shannon O'Kelly.
Brian, again, thanks for joining us, and congratulations for the success in the recent acquisition and purchase of property up in Mount Vernon that you can call Camp Korey, which is an opportunity for kids that is kind of a blessing. Let me ask a question, though. How do you fund it? Is that something that you're constantly working on, like most camps that are so important?
That's exactly right. The best part about Camp Korey is all the programs we handle, and it's not just summer camp. We also offer family weekends where the whole family comes to camp, and they meet families that are walking the same path they are. We have kids who get to have their first overnight because the parents met at a family weekend, and they know if their kid had a challenge in the middle of the night, the other family could help them. So they're building their own communities of support. But the best part is they get to do all of that at Camp Korey at no cost.
No cost.
All of our programs are completely 100% free of charge. So obviously we rely heavily on fundraising. And as the Director of Development, that's what I do. We have lots of opportunities to support Camp Korey. You can go online and you can, support our efforts. We have a program right now where Abercrombie & Fitch is matching the first $15,000 that we can raise online right now. If you go online to campkorey.org, and that's Korey with a K, Korey.org, and search Abercrombie & Fitch, you can find our online campaign. But one of the other things that we really love people to do is to come out and volunteer. We have amazing opportunities for groups to come out, and in small groups of 2 or 3 that want to paint a bathroom, or Comcast came out with 100 people and did all kinds of stuff to help us get ready for summer camp. It's a tremendous opportunity for people to get involved, not only financially, but also giving of their time, their talent, and their treasure, and really supporting incredible programs that make an incredible impact for so many families in the Puget Sound and across the country.
Yeah, and I think that's important that you mentioned Puget Sound. You may be located up in Skagit County, with your camp, but kids from all over the region are coming to camp, right?
That's right. The bulk of our kids actually come from King County. One of our main partners in sending kids to camp or recruiting kids for camp is Seattle Children's.
Okay.
But we get kids from across the country. We do a mitochondrial disorder family weekend this fall, and there are families that fly up from Austin, Texas to spend a weekend in Mount Vernon because they love our program and what it does for their family. And so there are 9 serious fun camps across the United States. We're pretty much the only one in the Pacific Northwest. The closest one is Colorado. And then there are a total of 30 programs internationally that we're all part of. And it's just helping kids and families have that incredible experience of camp and the joy of friendship, support, and love.
So, give us the website again and your contact information, because that's important for our listeners to hear that.
The most information you can find is at campkorey.org. That's campkorey.org. There's information about how you can support us financially, how you can volunteer, and most importantly, if you know a family or your family is interested in learning about our opportunities, there's lots of fun ways to come play at Camp Korey.
Brian, great work. As we wrap up here, I have to ask, are you going to have a golf tournament next year?
We are.
I'm in.
Okay.
IRG is in. We're going to take it next year. We're going to take it.
You guys came pretty darn close to winning. It was a tiebreaker.
Yeah. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for your time. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
That's been Brian Harrington, Camp Korey, Director of Development, Camp Korey. Another of the many wonderful opportunities for people with children with developmental or physical disabilities in the Pacific Northwest to take advantage of.
Absolutely. Right there in Mount Vernon. It's a fantastic place. Great programs for everybody, all included.
All right. We're going to talk about Primary Care Month. We'll do that with Kristen Wyrick right after this time out on KOMO.